As more participants and attendees attend the meeting, I will let them in. But right now, welcome Samantha and Jim. And yeah, we encourage you, Samantha, if you will, to be on the video so that we can have a more interactive, session today. And also, I posted some, just three questions in the chat that you can answer so we know your background as well. And well, for the two of you first, you want to stay until the end of this session because we have a very special free gift for everyone at the end of the call. So yeah, it's just very exciting.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, well, again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is JV De Castro. I am the assistant of our wonderful host. And welcome to today's webinar on how to maximize your revenue as an insurance broker. So, yeah, I have the pleasure of introducing our incredible host, Paula Rodriguez. Paula is a powerhouse in the insurance industry, coaching health insurance agents, life insurance agents on how to hit six figures in commissions. She earned six figures in her very first year as an independent agent and has since built a thriving business generating six figures in residual commissions, all while serving over 500 active clients. But beyond the
Wow.
numbers,
That's a
Paula is
lot.
truly passionate about helping others succeed. And today she's here to share her insights with all of us. And oh, just a little fun fact. She just got engaged, guys. So congratulations are in order. And yeah, so let's give a warm welcome to Paula Rodriguez.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I know the promise of today, and I have my handy dandy notes over here. We're going to cover a lot of stuff. And when I started preparing, I was like, oh my goodness, how are we going to get through one, know your numbers, track your progress, and set realistic goals to crush your enrollment goals? Number two is referrals at work. Optimize your network to generate quality referrals quickly. And the third one was to create urgency, to build momentum, close deals faster, and practice, winning strategies. But this is a lot of stuff to cover. So I thought it'd be really, really helpful in order to go over just number one. And then number two, number three, we'll go over in the other webinars that we'll have in the future. And like JB said, we're going to have a very special gift for you guys at the end. So you want to make sure to stick to the end. But really, the major thing is for you guys to get something out of today that you're going to have that's an actionable strategy in order for you to implement in your business and make over six figures, because that's really what we're here to do, is to give you the tools that you need in order to move forward and grow your business. So knowing your numbers. So what's the biggest predictor of your future, guys?
I would say the biggest predictor is honestly your numbers.
Yeah, so your daily disciplines, right? Like that's the biggest predictor of how your future is going to go. And yes, your numbers are very, very important because men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, right? So I have someone that I look up to a lot. His name is Aaron Stokes. He is a business coach that he leads a very big group of shop owners. So they run mechanic shops. And one of the things that Aaron Stokes says is business is a math formula. You create the math formula according to how you want those results to go. So it's really important to be able to understand your goals in order to know what you're working towards, right? So number one is meeting your understanding your goals, right? So you can focus on the actions that you can control. So I'm gonna start sharing here these notes. What's the biggest predictor of a person's future is their numbers, is their daily disciplines, right? So why do we track numbers? Because these are the daily disciplines that we need in order to know what we need to do to be successful. So why do we track numbers? Business is a math problem, okay? First, we need to know what we need to do, what actionable strategies we need to do in order to reach our goals, right? So What's the reason number two why we need to, so number one is knowing actions to reach goals, right? And so what is number two? So this is why track numbers. What is reason number two? That we need to track our numbers. So we need to know what our gaps are in our training, right? So if we so find gaps in training, right? So if we are getting a bunch of new leads, but we're not closing, what are we doing that is causing that, right? If we are making a lot of dials, but not a lot of people are picking up, what does that tell us, right? And then number three, that holds us accountable. So if we know our numbers, we know what to go after. So when people are hanging up on us, right? We know that we have a goal in mind. So we're staying true to our numbers, right? Now, what are the numbers that we need to track?
Maybe how many appointments you make per dials,
Yeah,
the
so
ratio.
number four is appointment set. Awesome. What else?
Your closing ratio.
Yeah, so the new clients that you have. So, and what else? How about the amount of new leads that you have? So how many new leads are coming into your system? Someone had mentioned dials, right? How many dials are you making? What else are we missing?
Closing. Out of those people that you are able to get in front of in the appointments, how many are you closing?
Yeah, yes, sir. And so how many appointments set, but how many appointments did you do, right? Because you can set an appointment, but they may not necessarily pick up, right?
Right.
And then when you're dialing, how many people are actually picking up? So how many people are you actually talking to? And then the last one is your revenue. So how much money you're making. So guys, if you're making enough dials, but you're not setting appointments, what does that mean? So you're making a lot of dials, you're
It just means that maybe the quality of leads is not as good as of a source for you.
right. So if your leads not good, well, I would say if you're making a lot of dials and people are not picking up, then that means your leads are not good because no one's picking up your call. But if you're making a lot of dials and you're not setting a lot of appointments, maybe you need to get better appointment setting. So from dials to appointments, you need some training um, around setting appointments. If you set a lot of appointments, but you don't conduct a lot of appointments, then that means you're good at setting appointments, but then you need to set them more concretely. You need to maybe have some reminders on there for people to actually attend the appointments. If you do a lot of appointments, but you don't close a lot, that means you need some help closing, right? If your revenue is if you close a lot of people, but your revenue is low, then we need to help you with increasing the amount of ancillary products or what you sell if you're not really hitting your revenue goals. So there's a lot there that we can find out. Now, in the day to day, if we're not keeping track of these numbers, we may be in another world, right? We may be discouraged. We might make a bunch of, dials and get a lot of no's, and then look down and say, "Oh man, I suck." But if we look at our numbers and we say, "No, I made the dials that I needed to make in order to set these, appointments, and I'm just getting the no's now, so then I can, be good later," then that's a different story. So this is that making some sense here?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, good. Awesome. Awesome. So, right. So these are the numbers to track. Now, what numbers do we aim for, right? How many dials do we need to make? How many people, do we want to talk to every day? How do we set these goals in terms of what these metrics are?
Wouldn't it be like if you're like first beginning, right? Like you would have to really measure that based on your current success. And then from there, you can evaluate based on how much money you made, how much more you have to dial, or how much more you have to learn about closing the appointments or setting the appointments.
Yeah, so uh, what you've done in the past is a great way to set goals for the future. But really, you have to understand what your goals are, right? If you don't know where you're going, you're gonna have a hard time getting there, right? You have to set the destination in the GPS in order for you to get to the goal. So you need to know the step-by-step directions, and the step-by-step directions in this case are the the goals. And so if you where you start is knowing what your average client size is. So typically when you are starting out in life insurance, you're making about $1,000 per client. Does that resonate, Samantha?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. So if we set so we do so if we do the 12-month commission total. So our average sale is about $1,000, right? And then how much, let's say our total commission goal is 100,000, right? So that means 100,000 divided by 1,000 is an easy 100, right? So how many clients do we need per week? So we divide this number by 50 to know, so this is the total clients needed is C. So if we divide by 50, but 50 weeks, we get 2, right? We need 2 clients per week. Then we need to know what our close rate. Typically, when you're starting out, close rate is typically 20%, and then after that, you keep getting better and better in life insurance. Then D divided by E is the appointments that you need per week, right? So 2 divided by 20, what is that?
It's
2,
like
10
point one.
is 10. So in order to, if you have a close ratio of 20%, you need to at least do 10 appointments in order to close two people. Awesome. So now, how many calls do you need to set one appointment? So it really depends on where you're getting your leads, what you're doing for your leads. There are some leads that are from the internet, so those might be a little bit more cold. There are others that are referral based. So typically, if you're talking to referrals, if you're getting referrals, you typically don't need as much calls. So let's say you need 20 calls to set one appointment. So calls needed per week, you multiply F by H. So you need to make, sorry. You only need to make 2 calls. I typically only need to make 2 calls if I'm referred in to someone. So you need to make 20 calls per week in order to set the 10 appointments. Now, that might not be the case for a lot of people. There might be people that need to make 100 dials, or that's a little bit crazy. But let's say you need to make, 20 dials in order to get one prospect, right? Then you need to make 200 dials a week in order to hit your goals. So I would say that those targets may be a little bit more realistic in order to be able to hit a goal as like an agent that's starting out. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. So now that we know how to set goals, is there anything else that we haven't listed on here that oh yes, we said revenue. So the revenue that's coming in is super important for us to track, because if we, even if we're closing a lot of deals, we need to make sure that the money that we're putting in, say we're buying leads, say we're spending money on our business, we're sponsoring events, we need to know if that money is giving us a return, right? So we need to keep track of what money's going out, what money's coming in. And typically you want to invest anywhere from 20 to 30%, depending on how much you are what your goals are and how established you are in your business or not, on developing your business further. So on marketing, on leads, on sponsoring, on joining groups like referral marketing and things like that. So that would be the target investment that you want to do. So any questions, you guys, from what we've talked about just now and setting your goals?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Awesome. Does anyone want to go over their numbers and maybe someone wants to give me what their 12-month commission goal would be for next year, for this year, for 2025? No?
I mean, I can go ahead. I mean, we talk about this all the time. For this year, so my goal is 300K for this year.
So, that's a really great goal. Now, Randy, any idea what an average sale is, either for you or for your team?
Yeah, it's about the same. It's about 100. It's about $1,000. Well, I would say between five and a thousand, 500 and $1,000.
$100,000. Okay, so let's
Like very basic, like in a very basic situation.
okay, wonderful. And so if we're gonna use 1,000 in order for us to keep our numbers fresh. So
Yeah, yeah.
Randy, that means you need to help 300 clients, right? In order to get to the 300,000.
Um, if we're just talking about basic product, life insurance, and yes. By the way, Samantha's on my team. So just so
Oh,
you know, I,
nice.
I know I saw her on there. We were like texting back and forth. We're like, "What are you doing here?"
Nice.
Yeah, maybe she can, as far as basic product like life insurance, because we do a lot of other things. Yeah, I would say between five and $1,000. But if we're talking about like annuity, or if we're providing health benefits for like a business, then the numbers kind of change.
For sure. Now, in order for us to, because we don't know, yes, we can have like a really big like deal that's coming through, but we don't know that for sure. All we can do
Right.
is focus on what the average sale is. So because there's, lower and higher, we're just going to take what the average is in order to set what the goals are. And so we're going to do 300. So 300 divided by 50, that's going to be 6. So you need 6 clients per week.
Right.
So basically a client per day, and if you work on 6 days a week. Randy, what would you say your close ratio is? What would you say a good closing ratio would be?
Well, right now I've just been really, really fortunate. I mean, honestly, but this is subject to change, and the only reason that it's so high is just because most recently, since November, I've just been really like just capitalizing on the referral.
Nice.
So right now, last time it was like 71%, but again, it's just because literally I had one gentleman um, give me 3 referrals and they just all hit. So
Let's go. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay.
yeah,
So would it be fair to say that even though it's been 70%, maybe it's a little closer to 50% with between referrals and the other type of lead?
right.
Okay. So, and those are cleaner numbers for me too. So if we say 50% of people close, then you need to set 12 appointments a week, if 50% of them close in order to get 6 clients. It's very doable, Randy. That's really amazing.
I tightened all your shares. It wasn't the only one that was this.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
See, we got you unmuted here. I'll mute you real quick. If you want to talk again, Mercy, just unmute yourself. Now, calls needed to set one appointment. So, Randy, how many calls would you say you need to do to set one appointment?
well, again, things have been I've been kind of lucky, so lately. So I would say that out of 10 calls, I'm able to schedule minimum 5 to 6 appointments if I
Okay.
make 10 calls.
Okay, so that's just 2 calls per appointment. Now,
Yeah.
that's for referrals. Now, I know some of your business may come from leads and things. How many calls would you say from like internet leads and stuff do you need to make in order to set an appointment?
We don't work with cold leads, so every lead we develop ourselves for the most part. So it's pretty safe to say that I guess the number would be out of 10. So if I make 10 calls, those 10 calls are gonna be warm leads, people that I've actually interacted with in the past, whether it was online or like at a networking event or like something like this that we're doing now. So I would say again, 10 warm calls, I would I would say 5 to 6 of those are appointments. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna stick. I'm saying I'll
Mm-hmm.
make those appointments.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then you're you what I'm hearing is it's about 2 to 3 calls. Let's say it's three calls, right? So you're gonna have to only make three 36 calls in order to set the appointments that you need to hit your goal of 300,000.
Right.
Let's go. Done, right?
Good.
So as we can see, right, it's really easy to set our goals. But now the hard part would be sticking to these goals, right? So we need the right level of accountability in order for us to, hey, the baby's sick, the dog, we need to take it to the vet, things happen. It's easy to, talk about it, but it's not as easy to be about it. So what are the things that you guys have in place in order to have that accountability and in order to, you know, get to these goals?
Well, for Randy and I, we have a team that we have to, and a partner who we go to who keeps us accountable for everything.
Okay, wonderful. That's awesome. And Mercy, if you can't talk, if you want to put it in the chat.
Can
So,
you hear me?
oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know I was muted, so I just unmute myself. Your question.
So, do you have like what kind of accountability do you have right now in order to help you set, stick to the goals that you set?
I have not put an accountability partner yet, so that should be what I should be working towards.
Ah, that would be
And
awesome.
and then, try to start the system right away.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds awesome, Mercy. Thank you for your transparency. So guys, did we learn something today? Was this helpful?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear that. Any questions that we have on setting, knowing your numbers, tracking your progress? No questions? Okay. Well, guys, I guess we can move on to talking about referrals because we still got a little bit of time. So, next, we'll do a new note here. So, referrals at work, optimizing your network to generate quality referrals quickly. So, we got some masters of referrals in the house, Randy and Samantha. Where do we get referrals from?
Um, a good one is the beneficiaries on your current,
Ooh,
uh,
yes.
another good one is like either like friends of family, like people who, already know that you're in this job and they would like to go over the same information that you've already done with your family.
Wonderful. Yes. Any others?
If you're in a BNI group or any kind of networking group, referrals from there.
Yes, 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 yes. 100%. Um, and how about like
Services.
CPAs?
Yeah, CPA or services that you do. So if you're like you go to a specific nail salon and you're a regular there, or referrals from like your doctor's offices or other places that you actually shop at.
So where you spend your money. Love that. Big one for me, are clients. So my clients, I do a really great job for them. I do policy reviews with them. So they actually send me a lot of people as well. For the health insurance people, financial advisors are also very good. They refer me a lot because I do health insurance. And so I'm able to help them with just the health and then edify them for the life. Um, so yeah, and then CPAs like bookkeepers are really great for me. That's spelled very wrong. They're really good for me because also they see, if someone's able to qualify for subsidies and we're able to help them with their health insurance there as well. And they see who's making a lot of money, who needs to be putting some money away. But yeah, so now that we know who can refer us, how do we get them to refer us? Right? Is it just a conversation that we have with them? Like, how do we get these people to refer us?
You just ask, but there's
Ah,
you gotta ask, you
just
know.
that simple, Randy?
I mean,
You
no, it's
can't,
not
they
that.
can't.
I'm still working on it, to tell you the truth. I know you spoke on this a lot, like back in July when I first met you.
Yeah.
Um, I I- most recently, what one of our team members just basically um, gave us an example of what she says, and I really liked it. She was just very honest, and she went something like this. I'm talking about Dana, Samantha. I don't know if you were there in that meeting. It was probably like a month ago. She's just like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, um, I'm a single mother. This is what she said. I'm a single mother, and to be honest with you, my business depends a lot on referrals. And so, I would really appreciate it. It makes things a lot easier when somebody like yourself that receives good service from me, introduces me, to somebody that you know. And so I guess it works for her. So,
It does
um,
work for her. I've seen
yeah,
it firsthand.
So what she
uh,
has, it's called an emotionally charged connection.
there you go.
So she has communicated to people why she's so passionate about what she does. So she lets them know, hey, I'm a single mom. If, maybe there's some people, I don't know Dana's story, but I know some people that have been impacted by life insurance in a big way. So I have a friend whose dad passed away when she was turning 17, and he literally got life insurance like a few months before he passed away. She was able to pay for college and not be homeless because her dad got the life insurance. And so that is something that just a personal story that you can share. Me personally, whenever people are telling me like, oh, well, it just costs so much money, and I'm like, you're right. Health insurance isn't something that we want to pay for. It's something that we much rather have rather than need it. My mom had autoimmune encephalitis, and we like the medical care for her was over $800,000. Thank God we had insurance. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping my clients, because I don't want them to be in a position where they can't seek the medical help they need if something were to happen. And my mom's the healthiest person ever. She juices, she walks 30 minutes a day. I actually asked her, like, Mom, aren't you upset? Like, you're so healthy and it happened to you. And she said, no, I'm glad it happened to me because I was strong enough to get on the other side of that. And so, telling stories like that to people about how insurance can impact them has actually helped me get some referrals. And so I've done presentations where I've shared this story, and then afterwards a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need to get that health insurance," And so that emotionally charged connection, sharing your personal story of why you're so passionate about helping others. And it doesn't even have to be your personal story either. It can be, hey, this happened to this friend of mine, but it does have to deal with why you're doing it. So you have to share why it is that you're doing what you're doing and why you're so passionate about it in order for them to say, oh, okay, yes. Because as salespeople, most of us already know it's not logical. It's that things that are logical that drive action. It's emotions. Emotions drive action. And so we use our emotions in order to help drive people to action. And that's why we get paid lots of money to help people with life insurance. Because if it was just logical for people, people would just call a 1-800 number. They would just get the life insurance that they need and, be on with their day. But it's because it's really emotions that drive actions. It's our job to drive out the emotions in order for people to make the right decisions for themselves and for their family and get the life insurance. Does that make sense, guys?
Makes
Thumbs up. Yeah?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. So there is a really, really cool program that I went through. It's called Ascentive. And it's literally a 10-week course on how to become a master at referrals. And they shared just a lot of really amazing ways to get more referrals. So purchasing, so you touched on that. If I purchase, if I go to my dentist, so my dentist actually sends me referrals, which is awesome. And I've talked to him. He knows that I've been in insurance for 6 years and that I help a lot of people. And so he, sends my assistant, well, his staff gives my assistant information on people to call that need dental insurance. And then from there, we can cross-sell them into health insurance and help them out in a myriad of different ways after that. Also collaborating. So I've done events where, so let me start writing it down. Purchasing, collaborating. So I've done customer appreciation events with other business owners. So people that are part of my BNI. I was able to create an event collaboratively with everyone. And then that way we were able to put together a really cool event. We had chair massages, we had a bunch of really cool stuff. We had drinks, we had food, we had pictures we had a photographer that also sponsored the event. We had testimonials. And so those are my favorite ways of getting referrals because they're fun to me. But just if you want to keep it simple, and I'm a big proponent of keeping things simple, is just ask. Just ask.
What was the name of that program you just said about the referrals?
It's called Ascentive. So Ascentive. And Jim, I can put you in touch with Tiffany Kellogg, who leads Ascentive here for the Tampa area. It's an international program, but they focus on teaching people how to get better at referral marketing.
Cool.
So I can for sure make that introduction for you.
Cool.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. So last thing that we were talking about was creating urgency, right? So how do we create urgency? How do we get people to buy now and not wait till later?
You gotta let them see the value. You gotta be able to explain the value, like you said, urgency of what you're trying to get across to them.
1,000,000%. So how do we build the value?
Well, providing urgency is definitely one. Educating, keeping it simple. Having a story is always good. Like you said,
Yes.
a lot of people in life insurance, most of us all have a story. And so whether you want to lead with that, it's up to you. But yeah, those are some things that I can think of off the top right now.
Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. I can tell you're gonna write a lot of insurance if you haven't already. Now, for me, one of the things that really helps is asking at the beginning of the call, if we find something that fits your needs and your budget, what date do you need something in place? So at the beginning, you're understanding, the best way to overcome objections is to squash them before they even start, right? Because if we go into a situation handy dandy, and we go over all this stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, but I'm not ready. I'm just looking for numbers, or we are very, like, as salespeople, we love to talk and we love people and we love sharing our knowledge with people. But if they're not in a position to buy right now, we're really wasting our time, and we really need to put our time and effort into the people that are ready to buy right now. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that won't tell you the truth. I know there's a famous expression in sales that says buyers are liars. And so someone won't tell you, hey, I don't have 5 cents in my pocket in order to pay for life insurance, but they will answer that question a little bit differently if they're not ready to buy right now. So if they give you any qualms with that question, kind of where to go with that, right? If they say, oh, I really need to talk to my spouse about it, no problem. Let's go ahead and put a conversation in place for the three of us. That way we can get all your questions answered. Oh, well, I really, I'm not ready yet. Okay, yeah, no problem. What needs to happen in order for you to be ready? And come from a place of wanting to help, right? And not from a place of like, oh, well, why aren't you getting something in place? So if someone just started a new job, for example, and they don't know what their budget is right now, they may say, hey, I just started a new job. I don't actually know when would be a good time, but give me a few weeks. Awesome. What we're going to do is, because you're going to forget half of the things that we talk about today, let's set a time for 2 weeks when you're ready. That way everything could be fresh in your mind. Right?
That's good.
Is
That's
that
good.
helpful?
Yeah.
I just,
That's for
I don't know
anybody.
about you guys, but if someone's not ready to buy, I don't want to talk to them. If someone's doesn't have their finances in order, if the decision makers aren't all there, if they're maybe talking to another agent, right? If they say, oh, well, I don't know when I want to put something in place. Okay, when do you want to put something, walk me through, help me understand your process. Everyone has different buying processes. Like, let me know what yours is so I can better help you. If they say, oh, well, I'm actually talking to another agent. Oh, that's super cool. You know what? Talk to that person. I'm actually a broker, so I can look at all the different plans. If that one that they show you makes sense, I'm going to be the first one to tell you to go with them. What I can tell you is I can help with all the different options. So it's probably going to work best for me to talk to you after that call, and then, we can take it from there. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
So that way you can destroy those objections, because the reality of it is if this person, it's a numbers game. If they're not ready to buy, if you don't have everything set in place for them to make a decision right away, you're wasting your time. And there are going to be situations where maybe you forget to ask the question, maybe, you do need to have that conversation and maybe have an information gathering conversation first, and then come back and present when all the decision makers are there. Oh no, my video didn't save some of it. Okay. So, guys, that's all we have time for right now. So this last one is ask them what date do they need to have something in place. Boom. All right. So I would love to know, guys, for us to close out, what was the number one takeaway that you had? So think about that while I get this up and running. And JV, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, Paula.
Okay, I need your help. Could you please put the link in the chat for the discovery calls for them to set discovery calls with me?
Yep, doing it right now.
Nice. Okay. So I have a special treat for you guys. I'm going to be sharing this sheet with you. So it's going to be a blank sheet that I'm going to be emailing out to everyone as a thank you for sticking by the call. And I want you guys to fill it out. I know Randy and I already had a chance to do that, but this is very, very important to know what you're fighting for in order to know what actions you need to take to reach your goals. Because my goal this year is to make 10 six-figure agents. So I want to help 10 agents make $100,000 this year through my coaching. Now, if you found this helpful and you want to get, you want to get some questions answered, I did promise that I was going to answer some questions today, but we've totally ran out of time. I am going to extend the offer to have a discovery call with me. So I want you guys to book a time with me. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not, I truly want to help you succeed. If it makes sense for us to work together as referral partners, amazing. If it makes sense for me to coach you, even better. Or if I could just connect you to people that are in my network that can help you, I will for sure do that for you. So yes, so JV, if you can put that in the chat, that would be awesome. And
Yes, it's already on the chat. So guys, if you're ready or if you want to keep the link for future reference, it's on the chat for the
thank you
discovery
so,
call.
so much. Thank you. I should have had that ready, but awesome. Yay. Oh, it's super easy. I'll remember that. I'll copy and paste that for the future. So guys, would love to know, now that you've had a little bit of time to think about it, your number one takeaway from today. Is anyone able to share?
Just the language that you used as far as asking them, like, what date do you need to have something in place? I think that was a really good way to overcome an objection before you even get it.
Love that, Samantha. Thank you.
I also like the script. I think it's a wonderful script to actually practice how to overcome the objection before it comes, and also try to set the goal and have accountability for your goal.
Yes, love that, Mercy. Love that. Got anything for us, Jim? I saw you unmuted yourself.
Oh, yeah. I think all this, I thought this was great myself. I think all this fits perfectly into what I do. I just do it on a different
Okay,
scale.
there we
I
go.
mean, when you
Awesome.
talk about taking care of your family, I'm telling the guy to take care of his employees.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you love them and you want to keep them, then you got to take care of them because they'll
Yeah.
go someplace else because no one
Yeah.
stays at companies anymore.
So what I'm hearing is that
So,
emotionally charged connection, right? Like
right.
with bringing out those emotions and in the business owner in order to drive them to action. I love
Yeah,
that.
but he has no choice. He has to do something. He has to provide something. If he's got over 100 employees, he's got to do something. So why not do it with me? And I also play my veterans card. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I play that card all the time,
Yeah, that's part of
and
your emotionally charged connection, right? You've
it
served
works.
this
And it works.
country.
It
You're
works.
continuing to serve. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Hoorah, brother.
You will.
75.
Thank you for
You
your
will.
service,
Hey,
Jim.
Randy. Thank you for your service,
See what
Randy.
happens? See what happens when you say that?
Nice.
That's what happens on the phone. It gets me past the gatekeeper, especially
Nice.
if the guy has served.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I
That's
can
the
totally see
gatekeeper.
that.
Yeah. So I tell you, I think this is I mean, it's just scalable. What you just do today is very scalable.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Jim, I'm looking forward to,
Yeah.
doing that discovery call with you then and learning a little bit more about you and seeing how I can help you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can do that because I'm contracted to somebody else that does that for me. So I don't know whether I can step over that line or not.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Jim. My intent is not to recruit anyone out of a team that they're already really happy with. Yeah, if anyone, and
Okay.
again, thank you so much for bringing that up. If people have
What's up? Yeah.
resources that
Mami,
people,
siéntate tú
oh,
ahí.
sorry, Randy, I'm gonna mute you. So Randy, unmute yourself if you want to share. I just heard you having some conversations there, but so my intent is not to recruit anyone out of a team that they're already well supported in. What my intent is to add resources and to help people out if they're not getting the support that they need, or if they need additional support. I don't make people change their contracts. If they have really great contracts that they want to stick to, I just help them grow their business. And if they're in a really great spot, I tell them, hey, just keep on it, work hard, and keep reaching your goals. If they're in a position where they're not going to be able to reach their goals with the situation that they have, then I tell them, hey, come on board on my team. I can definitely help, or come on board with coaching, and I can help them with coaching.
Yep.
So guys, it is 1. I gotta go because I got an appointment. But thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate the interaction. Oh, Randy, I saw you unmuted.
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
have
you,
a good one,
Thank
guys.
you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye for now.